It's time to talk about Reddit one more time because it looks like this whole story, this season has finally reached its finale and it now looks like it is over because it kind of looks like the Redditors has failed in probably one of the most Reddit way of all time. It almost sounds fake how comically accurate this is when you think about how a Redditor will fail. Now you probably have no clue what I'm talking about by that, but that sentence is going to make 100% sense when I tell you what happens. But first, let me catch you up on this situation because there's probably some people who have absolutely no clue what's going on. I'm going to give you an extremely quick speedrun version of it. What's happening is that Reddit suddenly out of nowhere has basically decided to go after third-party sites. Now this is an extremely big deal and it's really important because a lot of people use Reddit through third-party sites. One thing that I ended up learning is that the Reddit mobile app is absolutely terrible and people don't like it at all. So because of this, when they want to use Reddit on mobile, they tend to use third-party sites to basically do that, which is something that I think is 100% fine. I mean, if you don't even care enough to make your mobile app good enough that people actually want to use, I think it's 100% fine that people want to go to third-party sites to actually have a good experience. Because, I don't know, I think that maybe the million-dollar company should actually put an effort to actually make the user experience good. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Reddit decided to charge for their API, which is 100% fine. You know, I don't think most people are going crazy over that. Even some of the third-party apps, they weren't mad at all that Reddit ended up wanting to charge for API access. But the way how they wanted to do it was extremely greedy. They basically did it in a way where they wanted to make the API so expensive where there's basically going to be no possible way where third-party sites are going to be able to afford it. Third-party applications is extremely important for Reddit. It's important for moderation. So because of that, they decided to do a Reddit blackout, where basically all of the top subreddits has decided to go private, and that was basically the beginning of the story. But this blackout ended up getting a lot of criticisms, especially one for one main reason. They ended up announcing how long they were going to do it for. They stated that they were basically going to stay private for 2 days, which was basically one of the dumbest things of all time because it wasn't going to make Reddit scared at all. Since they knew that this was only going to last for 2 days, all they really had to do was just stand there and endure it. They just had to hold on just for stuff to pass. And that's basically what they did. The Reddit CEO has came out multiple times and said that he's not worried about it at all. It just basically said it's not really that much of a big deal and say it was going to go past. Who really cares about it? And after the 2 days, most of the subreddits ended up going back online. Because of the Reddit CEO ended up saying a lot of things saying that he didn't really care about it, it caused 300 other subreddits to basically stay private for an extended period of time. And that was basically the ending of the story until now we ended up getting a brand new update where suddenly out of nowhere, well, I wouldn't really say suddenly out of nowhere, everyone kind of knew that this was going to happen because a lot of people basically made predictions saying how is Reddit basically going to stop this, because obviously if 300 of the biggest subreddits decide to stay private, they're going to take a lot of damage. All those people who go on those subreddit may not go there anymore and go on a different app, which is something extremely bad for Reddit. So shocking to absolutely no one, the Reddit CEO and Reddit admins basically ended up threatening the moderators, saying that, hey, if you stay private for any longer, we're basically going to take away your moderation status, and that is an extremely big deal. That is absolutely terrible. That is literally a cruel and unusual punishment for a Reddit mod, because I think we all know why people go in this position and why people decide to be Reddit moderators. They don't really do it because, you know, they care about the platform and they want it to be a better place. They do it for the power trip. If you had an experience with a Reddit mod before, it's a very high chance that you probably did have a good one at all. They just love having the power to ban someone for absolutely no reason and basically has the power to rule over their small domain. Like it's their own ascended plane, but it's not like one of the cool ones, like the super ginormous one that could be like a destination that you can land to. No, it's like one of those very tiny pathetic ones where it's literally just a little teeny tiny platform where maybe you have like one table on it, but that's all they need. If they can feel better than someone else just for 1 minute, just for a couple of hours in their life, that's good for them. And they do this for absolutely free. I think it's pretty well known now that if you are a Reddit moderator, you are not being paid at all. You are literally doing this from the kindness of your heart just so you can feel superior and just so you can have more power than someone else. So the Reddit CEO 100% knew what to do. He knew that if he went and threatened these mods and say that, hey, if you don't stop what you're doing, we're going to get rid of your status, they knew instantly that they were going to fold. Because yeah, I know the Reddit blackout was probably super duper hard for them when they ended up privating all the Reddits. I know they were shaken and they were scared to do one of the scariest things for any Reddit moderator, and that has to be go outside, but they were willing to bear. They knew they can endure it because they were on top. They proved to Reddit that they had a lot of power, and when Reddit came and said that we were going to take away that power, they couldn't handle it at all. A lot of the subreddits who ended up saying that they were going to private indefinitely folded immediately, and they automatically went on private. One good example has to be livestream fail. This was something that's private, but not anymore. And a lot of these subreddits ended up releasing a statement saying what's going on and why they ended up doing this, and they have been getting absolutely blasted for it. It has not been a good look at all. All of the statements are saying the same thing. Like, I don't know if one guy came together and ended up typing it because they all sound the same, so I'm basically just gonna summarize it. Basically what they're saying is that the Reddit CEO and a bunch of admins ended up threatening us, and they say that we're gonna take away our moderation status, and we didn't really like that, so we decided to not do the Reddit blackout anymore. That's basically it. I know they fill it with a bunch of like fluff and a bunch of other weird statements. Like, I know one of them ended up saying that they were trying to turn Reddit moderators against each other, which is something that makes absolutely no sense. That man was giving you a favor. Being a Reddit mod probably has to be one of the most saddest things of all time. You're basically wearing a kick me paper on the back of you because you're just guaranteed just to be made fun of. So this man is actually giving you a benefit. I really think they should have done this, and this just looks extremely bad because I don't like when corporations just do something like this, because Reddit needs the Reddit moderators and they need all the people who use Reddit daily to basically run their website. And I think this is just really bad and just super pathetic on the Reddit side. Who cares if he ended up kicking you down? I mean, you guys put this whole show up, standing up, pounding your chest, going all like, yeah, we're gonna fight for what we believe in. We're gonna stand for this. Let's go. Redditors on top. And the split second you ended up being threatened of losing your Reddit moderator status, you fold immediately. You're instantly like, whoa guys, I don't really think we need to do this anymore. And another thing too, I know for a fact that when the Reddit team was saying that they were going to find new moderators, you 100% know that they're not going to be paid for it at all. Because most Reddit mods do this for free, and these brand new moderators were also going to do this for free just so they can go and get the power trip, which is just also something that made no sense, because I truly think they still could have won. If all of the Reddit community still came together and said, hey, let's still take this blackout seriously, even if all of them got kicked out and they weren't really moderators anymore, since they have so much influence in the Reddit community, they probably easily could have came together and say, hey, just have no one takes these new positions. And yeah, some people would still take it just so they could go and get the power trip, but they easily still could have won this, and they still could have made change if they just continue going on. But hey, I'm also not really surprised at all. This is literally the most poetic way for a Reddit strike to basically end, saying that you're gonna get rid of people's moderator powers, and they literally fold immediately. I just think that's absolutely hilarious. Anyway, this is something that I wanted to talk about. My name is Lua. You have a good day or night. See ya.